At the start of the drama, we see the female lead, Yoon Seo, who is sitting in front of the male lead, Ju Won's mom. Mom asks her, "When will you break up with my son?" Just then, Yoon Seo thinks, "I just found out now that my boyfriend is from a rich family's third generation." Then, Yoon Seo says, "I will break up soon." Just then, a man comes and gives her a credit card. Yoon Seo thinks, maybe they are giving me money like this. That is why she writes her bank details on that card. Seeing which, Mom says, "It is good. I felt you would not agree, but you agreed very easily. And until when will you finish everything with my son?" So Yoon Seo asks for 2 months' time and says, "We both have been dating each other for 1 year and 6 months and we're very happy. If I directly break up, he will suspect you. That is why I will make him dislike me so that he can break up with me. Because I know we both cannot be together, that is why you do not need to worry." Hearing this, Mom says to her, "You are quite intelligent. Did you really not know that he is my son? And do you really like him?" Now we see a scene from the past when Yoon Seo is going home. Ju Won calls her team leader and asks, "Are you going home?" Hearing this, Yoon Seo is happy. Now in the present scene, Yoon Seo says, "I liked him a lot, but I know which things should be continued and which not." Saying this, Yoon Seo starts leaving from there and thinks, when Cinderella went to that party and met the prince, she was so happy. But when she came into her real form after 2 a.m., would she also be feeling like this? And I cannot stay in such a relationship that hurts my pride. In the next scene, we see the company's vice chairman, whose name is Siwon, who was trying a new suit. And Ju Won is sitting with him, who calls Yoon Seo, but Yoon Seo does not pick up his phone. So Siwon asks Ju Won, "How is it looking?" So Ju Won says, "Nothing is okay." So Siwon says, "It is not like that. This is the best fabric and the best designer made it." Hearing which, Ju Won says, "After all, whose talk are you doing? I am talking to Yoon Seo here, who is not picking up my phone." So Siwon says, "What is the problem in this? I and my wife also chat whether we are living or not. And anyway, in our family, marriage happens for cooperation, not for feeling." And then he starts showing Ju Won his wife's social media account and says, "I just checked my wife's profile for updates, who is in Paris now. And seeing our things in her updates increases sale otherwise. What can be better than this?" In the middle of this, Ju Won gets Yoon Seo's message, "I am resting, I will talk to you tomorrow." In the next scene, Yoon Seo goes to the company and going into the washroom, searches on the internet, how to make boyfriend dislike himself, in which the first option is, ask for money from boyfriend. But then Yoon Seo imagines, if I ask him for money, he is already so rich that he can give me that much money. And then Yoon Seo sees the second option, so he does not like that either. But Yoon Seo likes the third option, and choosing that, she sits on her seat and starts frowning her eyebrows so that he dislikes her. And when other colleagues are talking here, then Yoon Seo gives them a strange look, seeing which those people get scared and start doing work. After this, Yoon Seo and Ju Won meet in a cafe. So Yoon Seo shows tantrums to annoy him and says, "I do not have to drink anything, rather, I have to eat." So Ju Won says, "What to eat?" So Yoon Seo says, "I don't know." Hearing this, Ju Won is shocked and remembers that she never does like this and decides herself. That is why Ju Won mostly takes the name of dishes which Yoon Seo likes. But Yoon Seo refuses by giving different reason for all dishes. So Ju Won holds her hand and takes her to another restaurant. So seeing the dish there, Yoon Seo is not able to stop herself and starts smiling and says, "By the way, I did not want to come here, but now I have come so I will eat." Saying this, Yoon Seo starts eating food. So watching her, Ju Won starts smiling and says, "I know you will like the food here." And then Ju Won asks her, "You are behaving a little strange since yesterday. Did Ji-suk do something?" Hearing this, Yoon Seo starts shouting and says, "Do you just feel this that my younger brother keeps creating problems only?" Hearing which, Ju Won starts explaining, "No, it is not like that, I just asked like that." And then saying, "Sorry," he says, "Why am I feeling like this? That you are trying to make me angry at yourself forcefully." Hearing this, Yoon Seo gets surprised and refuses him, and then making an excuse of the washroom, leaves. And when she comes out of the washroom, then the owner there says to Ju Won, "Your girlfriend is in anger. What did you do like this?" But Ju Won also did not know about this. So the owner says, "You are getting scared?" So Ju Won says, "Yes, but she looks very cute in anger." Then that owner leaves. So Ju Won looks at Yoon Seo and smiles. So Yoon Seo thinks, "How will I break up with you?" In the next scene, Yoon Seo goes to her friend's restaurant. Her friend's name is Kim E-rae. She asks Yoon Seo, "Did you break up?" But Yoon Seo does not speak anything. Just then, Kim I-rae's uncle comes there and says, "I made a new drink, try it." And then those people make Yoon Seo drink a lot. And Kim I-rae asks her, "You cannot break up with Ju Won." but Yoon Seo says, I will break up, do you want to see? And then she starts texting Ju Won. But Kim I-rae refuses her and starts pulling phone from her and tells her, breaking up being drunk like this is very worst. So Yoon Seo says, I have already taken money from his mom and I am the most worst. That is why instead of torturing him for 2 months, it is better to hurt him once and finish everything. Saying this, she sleeps right there. After this, the next day, when Yoon Seo goes to the company, then already in the lift there is Ju Won. So Yoon Seo asks him, did I? So Yoon Seo says, I was calling myself hopeless, and my hair has become very bad. What talk did we do at night? I was drunk. That is why I do not remember anything. So Ju Won says, you sent me a text that is why to ask that I phoned you, but you talked normal and kept the phone. Hearing this, Yoon Seo gets relaxed. Just then, 2 colleagues come there and tell Yoon Seo, the text you did inside the group at night, what was the meaning of that break? And somewhere you did not do talk of hopeless for Ju Won. Because, look, he does not pay attention to his haircut at all. Okay, now tell also about whom were you asking? So Yoon Seo says, I was calling myself hopeless. My hair has become very bad. So her colleague says, I know a salon there. I will take you there so we both will get discount. So Yoon Seo says, okay. Now after office, Yoon Seo goes to the salon with her colleague and gets a hair wash. And as she comes out of the salon, she thinks, did we really do this talk at night? Just then, she listens to the call recording in which Yoon Seo says, let us break up. So Ju Won says, I am coming to meet you. But Yoon Seo refuses him and says, no need to meet. Also, we are anyway going to break up in last. That is why goodbye. Now hearing this recording, Yoon Seo remains shocked. And then she meets Ju Won at a cafe and says, after the talk I did with you yesterday, how can you behave normal? So Ju Won says, I wanted to pretend like this, that as if I heard nothing, and I know you met my mom. Hearing this, Yoon Seo, getting sad, says, we should break up. So Ju Won refuses her and says, I will see by talking to my mom, everything will be fine, we think about this. So Yoon Seo does not listen to him and says, did you never feel what it is to remain hungry if there is no money? And how it feels to do part-time job for tuition fee? And we both are from different worlds. If your mom was not there, then maybe even then I would not be able to accept this relationship. And then saying break up, Yoon Seo leaves from there. Then Ju Won comes from behind and stops her. So Yoon Seo says, you know this that I met your mom, but do you know this that I have taken money from her? Hearing this, Ju Won remains shocked. So Yoon Seo frees her hand and leaves. In the next scene, Yoon Seo is doing a meeting with her colleagues. Just then, colleagues tell her, Ju Won has taken 1 week leave. So Yoon Seo thinks, giving leave to oneself for breakup is also a luxury. Then Yoon Seo goes home and does all her work and removes all of Ju Won's photos from her room and thinks, when Cinderella left her shoes there, then she had left her trace. Did she want to show her plan to Prince herself? But I do not want to leave anything like her and want to break up becoming a cool girl. In the next scene, Yoon Seo is walking on stairs talking to Kim I-rae. So Kim I-rae asks her, when will Ju Won come back from his vacation? He wasn't transferred to abroad somewhere. So Yoon Seo says, yes, maybe it is like that. But just then, due to wearing high heels, Yoon Seo trips. And keeping the phone, remembers now we see a scene from the past where Yoon Seo tripped once like this outside. But just then, Ju Won comes there and, sitting her on a bench, he brings slippers and bandage and starts applying bandage himself. But then Ju Won feels shy and says, it will be little too much. So Yoon Seo says yes and then applies bandage herself. And both are very happy. Now, in the present scene, many people bring massage chairs in their company. So employees see that inside their rest area, many snacks, ice cream, and coffee machine have also come. Seeing all this, they are quite shocked. And messaging Yoon Seo, they tell about this and send a photo, from which Yoon Seo comes to know Ju Won has come back becoming director of company now. Seeing this, she is quite surprised, and here, inside the company, Ju Won has a grand entry. Seeing all this, Yoon Seo starts leaving fast, but due to heels, she starts falling. But Ju Won comes and saves her, and sitting on knees, puts on her heels, and says to Yoon Seo, those people wanted to send me abroad, but I did not go. That is why in convincing them and coming here it took a little time. And you want to break up with me, right? This is your choice, but to pursue you again is my choice. You cannot do anything on it, so do a little pity on me, because now I am not going to leave any chance of sticking to you. Hearing this, Yoon Seo is shocked, because everyone was looking at them only. After this, Ju Won goes there, where he used to work with them, so their employee Bae and director Lee were getting scared seeing him. And Bae says, sorry, we were ignorant who could not recognize you. So Ju Won says, like you used to talk to me before, talk like that now also. And then Ju Won gives them coffee, and Bae says to him, I brought special coffee for you. So Bae, getting scared, takes coffee from him to go to office. So Ju Won shows and says, my office is at your people's side. Seeing which they are shocked and say, you could take office at some good place, no? But why here? So Ju-won, looking at Yoon Seo, says, because I like the people here, and this place very much, that is why I want to work right here. Saying this, he goes into his office. So Lee says to Bae, he has surely come here for you. How much you teased him when he worked with us. So Bae gets worried and says, now I will have to take resignation. And just then, he sees Yoon Seo going to Ju-won's office, and they think she is going to resign. But as soon as Yoon Seo goes inside, she says to Ju-won, what are you doing? Your mom said that she will send you abroad after breakup. So Ju-won says, I told you. Know that I convinced my mom. So Yoon Seo says, can you do this? Did I take money from your mom to break up with you? So Ju-won says, I told my mom that if she sends me abroad, then I will stay there becoming drunk and will not pay attention to myself at all. That is why my mom let me stay here. And I promised my mom that I will take this company from number 1 to number 2, and that too only in 2 years. If we both have to be together, then this is necessary. Yoon Seo says, this is not possible. And then again she starts talking about money. So Ju-won says, I know you love money. So Yoon Seo, getting shocked, says, what are you saying this? So Ju-won says, or else what? You keep doing overtime work always so that you get extra money, even work on weekends for bonus. So Yoon Seo says, that I used to work to become a good employee. And why are you talking to me in informal way? Ju-won says, I searched a lot on internet that if you have to get your ex-girlfriend back, then you will have to show her your different side. So Yoon Seo says, I promised your mom that I will break up with you. So Ju-won says, so you have done it, but you did not say this, that after breakup you will not date me again. And then Ju-won grabs Yoon Seo's cheeks and starts calling her cute. Just then, by mistake, remote button presses causing glass to become visible, due to which, seeing both employees together like this, they remain shocked. So Ju-won quickly closes the glass again. In the next scene, Ju-won gives a barbecue treat to Lee, Bae, and Yoon Seo. Just then, Bae says, how good it would be if we could drink together also. But Yoon Seo refuses and says, we have to do presentation also, and there is a lot of work also, that is why you cannot drink. So Ju-won says, we can make presentation a little late to drink. But Yoon Seo still does not agree and starts staring. So Ju-won says, now I am not. That is why work has become very much for this reason. I extend time of your party. Hearing which, Yoon Seo is not able to say anything. So everyone was drinking. After barbecue, Bae was drinking a lot. That is why he was saying again and again, please do not fire me. So Ju-won says yes. So Lee and Bae leave from there. Yoon Seo also starts leaving. So Ju-won also starts walking behind her. So Yoon Seo says to him, why are you following me? So Ju-won say, I also have to go to office and work. And then he start walking ahead of Yoon Seo. So getting annoyed, Yoon Seo starts walking ahead of him again. And both go to company and start working again. And in between, they look at each other also. Just then, some printed papers come out from Yoon Seo's printer which Ju-won had sent. And on it was written, I can't lose Yoon Seo. Then Yoon Seo looks towards Ju-won. So he makes a cute face and starts looking at her. But Yoon Seo destroys the paper, seeing which he behaves in a quite romantic way. After this, Ju-won keeps troubling Yoon Seo every day. And after working, when Yoon Seo was leaving, just then going to her, Ju-won says, take me on meal because when we were dating then mostly money I gave of the meal. So Yoon Seo asks for proof of this talk. Ju-won says, whenever we ate food, then I clicked its photo and I paid more than 27 times. Hearing this, Yoon Seo gets annoyed. So Ju-won says, feed me from the money my mom gave. So Yoon Seo says, I will use those money comfortably. Saying this, she sits in a taxi and leaves. So Ju-won gets sad and says to himself, she really went. In the next scene, when Yoon Seo enters the company lift, Si-won is there. Seeing whom, Yoon Seo gets a little nervous, but Si-won says to her, my brother is a little too clingy, no? But very cute also. So Yoon Seo first says yes but then refuses. So Si-won starts laughing and says, Ji-won is very stubborn, he is not going to give up so soon. When he told me that, because of you, he watched movies which he did not even like, but now he started taking interest in that also. Hearing this, Yoon Seo gets shocked and asks, what does he like? Si-won says, he likes opera. And then when Yoon Seo was going to her desk, she thinks, how can he not like movies? And then she remembers her time that he always asked her to choose the movie. And he knew about every new movie release. And once Ju-won had asked her for opera, but Yoon Seo had refused. So after that, Ju-won never said about opera again. Now seeing Ju-won working, Yoon Seo says, you me, why are you making me bad girl? And then she starts doing her work. Just then, while working, Yoon Seo starts coughing. So Ju-won notices this and brings medicine for her at night, doing which Yoon Seo refuses. So Ju-won says, I am giving not according to your boyfriend, rather according to colleague. You should take care of your health. Yoon Seo takes the medicine and starts going home. So Ju-won takes her car keys and starts driving. But inside the car parking, Yoon-seo faints. So Ju-won takes her to the hospital where she gets a drip. When Yoon-seo gains consciousness, then she sees he is in a VIP room. That is why she starts leaving. But Ju-won stops her and says, "This is from company's side." But Yoon-seo refuses. So Ju-won says, "This all is hard for me, also you are rejecting me again and again like this. I know you are not well at all, but you are pretending like this as if everything is normal." Hearing this, Yoon-seo says, "I heard that you do not like watching movie, the thing you never told me and kept going to watch movie with me every time. You did not tell this that you like opera." Ju-won says, "Who told you all this?" Yoon-seo says, "Voice chairman." So Ju-won says, "First, all this used to look a little boring to me, but when I saw you watching movie, how you enjoy those movements, then I also started feeling very happy. And then slowly, I also started liking watching movie. And now I collect movies, and DVD also. And I liked eating spicy food also, but because of you, I tried all those things which I did not like, and because of this now, I started enjoying life even more." Hearing this, Yoon-seo gets emotional and says, "Now we will eat meal together 27 times, and I will make payment. If you have done so much hard work for date, then you should do for breakup also." So Ju-won says, "I am going to live with you just like this." And then both become very happy. After this, they eat 1 or 2 meals together where Yoon-seo maintains her distance. But while eating, she was feeling like this as if they have come on a first date. But just then, someone was secretly clicking their photo. In this photo, Ju-won's mom got clicked. And all these photos are with her only. Just then, Si-won comes there. So mom says, "This girl told me that she will break up with my son, but what is this?" So Si-won says, "Ju-won is doing all this to pursue her again. And do you really want to separate them, want to get his arranged marriage done? You did this too, look, your husband has not come home for 2 years. So mom starts glaring at him, but Si-won picks up the photo and says, "I will handle this." So mom says, "But why are they eating everywhere?" On the other side, Yoon-seo and Ju-won go to a restaurant again where both were behaving like this, as if they are going in some war. And then they order where Yoon-seo first orders alcohol also, but then she refuses. So Ju-won says, "Do you have fear that in drunk condition you will take breakup back?" Hearing this, she orders alcohol again. On the other side, Si-won goes to a wine shop to take wine, but the wine he went to buy wasn't there. Instead, there was something very expensive. So the employee working there tells, after Mi-jin posted, the popularity of that wine increased. Hearing this, Si-won sees his wife's photo and says, "Really, she is a very big influencer." And then Si-won goes home and looks at his wine collection. So he finds that wine, seeing which he gets surprised because he did not remember when he brought this one. And just then, we see a girl going in a car there, and this wine she only had kept. Now on the other side, Yoon-seo and Ju-won were eating and drinking together. So Ju-won tries to flirt with her. Just then, the owner comes there, and due to them being a little lovey-dovey, she says to them. So Yoon-seo says, "Our breakup has happened." So Ju-won says, yes, she is saying right. But that owner does not believe their talk and gives them a bottle of wine and free. So Ju-won says, "No, we do not want anything free. Yoon-seo will give money of all these because Yoon-seo has to finish money on me." So Yoon-seo says, "Look, despite being rich, what is he doing with me?" But then that owner sees that these two are feeding food to each other. That is why the owner says, "How are these two making me fool that their breakup is going on?" Seeing them, it is clearly known that how much they are in love. After this, both are sitting outside where Ju-won had become quite drunk. So Yoon-seo tells him to call his assistant so that he can take him. But Ju-won looks at her, so Yoon-seo starts leaving. But Ju-won holds her and hugs her and says, "Do you not like me now?" Hearing this, Yoon-seo getting emotional says, "I still like you." So Ju-won says, "You still like me?" Yoon-seo says yes. So Ju-won starts kissing her. First, Yoon-seo closes eyes, but then she says, "This is not right. Our breakup has happened." So Ju-won says, "But we still like each other, how happy we were before." And then shouting, he says, "Why did you break up with me? I gave you my love and my body both. How can you leave me like this by taking money from my mom?" Hearing this, all people gather there and start talking. "Look how this girl is, and poor boy is so sad." Due to all this, Yoon-seo gets quite embarrassed. In the next scene, Yoon-seo reaches office, so she sees that Ju-won had not come there yet. That is why she gets happy and says, "I wish my luck is good," because she was frustrated on this thing that why did he say that she likes Ju-won? But just then, Ju-won and other employees also come there. So Yoon-seo and Ju-won, seeing each other, were getting quite nervous. and then both sit on their own desk with excuse of work. After this, we see Yoon Seo's brother, whose name is Ji-suk, who is saying to his friend, "Don't know what happened to my sister last night. She came becoming so drunk and today throwing alcohol." Just then, he sees that two boys are bullying one boy. That boy was looking towards Ji-suk as if asking help from him. But Ji-suk says, "I do not want to be involved in all these things. That is why I cannot do anything." And right there on the other side, as it is lunchtime, so Lee and Bae say to them to do lunch. But Yoon Seo refuses and says, "I have some work." So Bae asks Ju-won about lunch. So Ju-won says, "I have some work." Seeing which, Yoon Seo and Ju-won speak together, "We are ready to go." So Bae says, "What is all this going on?" And then both take them forcefully with them. But there, the owner says, "Here is place for sitting of only 2 people." So Yoon Seo says to sit with Lee. But Lee and Bae had to go to do meeting, that is why they go to do lunch first. And after that, Yoon Seo and Ju-won start doing lunch where both were being quite awkward that what to speak, and Yoon Seo with absent mind instead of putting paper and food puts a lot of toothpicks. And then, as her attention goes, so she starts taking them out quickly. So Ju-won exchanges his food with her, and both start talking. Then, after eating food as these two go to office, so they say sorry to each other for tomorrow, that how both embarrassed each other. So Ju-won says, "We talk about this going to office." Yoon Seo says yes. But at that time, Ji-suk's call comes to Yoon Seo, so Ju-won tells her to go and starts talking, on call himself. So as Yoon Seo goes up, so there Ju-won's mom is standing, who says to Yoon Seo, "Sorry I could not send him abroad, he told me that. To overcome his feeling he wants to stay here. I knew nothing like this is there, but I still agreed for him to stay here. And I started liking you when you said that you know reality and you will break up with him. But now, what are you doing all this? Somewhere you will break your promise, no?" Just then, Ju-won comes there, so his mom says, "I came here for meeting, and I thought that I'd go meeting you." So Ju-won says, "Employee seeing you here will be uncomfortable and I go to leave you till outside." And then Ju-won drops his mom till outside. So mom says, "Seems you want that, I do not come here." So Ju-won says, "I am feeling uncomfortable seeing you here. I know what is your plan, but I will not disappoint you." Saying this, Ju-won quickly goes into his office, so Yoon Seo is not there. But a note is found on the table there in which it was written, "I have a work outside and today I am going to do that." In the next scene, Yoon Seo is working at Kim I-rae's restaurant and makes food also. So Uncle asks Kim I-rae about her condition. So Kim I-rae tells she is restarting herself by doing all this. Uncle says, "If it is so, then why does she not feel good by crying?" Kim I-rae says, "I haven't seen her crying till today." In the next scene, Yoon Seo gets a phone call from Ji-suk's college. So Yoon Seo is sitting with parents of bully students, where that bully boy had also come with his mom. So parents of students doing bullying say, "Oh, then what happened? Our children have asked for some money only we will give you. No need to take all these talks further." Hearing this, that child's mom gets emotional and starts showing wounds on her child's body, which happened due to beating him too much, and says, "If all these wounds were on your child's body, then would you let all this go just like this?" Just then, Yoon Seo starts asking for forgiveness from them and says, "Sorry, I did not handle my brother nicely." So that bully boy says, "In all these, Ji-suk was not involved." And Ji-suk also starts speaking same. So Yoon Seo says, "Did you not know that they are bullying him? You never tried to stop them? This is a very big mistake." Hearing this, Ji-suk becomes quiet. So Yoon Seo asks forgiveness from that child's mom again. So his mom says, "If you are doing this to stop me, then I am not going to stop." So Yoon Seo says, "I am not doing for this, do what you have to do, and these people deserve punishment." Saying this, Yoon Seo leaves. So Ji-suk was also walking behind her. Just then, Yoon Seo remembers something. Now we see a scene from the past when Ji-suk was small. So his dad used to beat Ji-suk a lot becoming drunk. But Yoon Seo used to save Ji-suk, coming in between. And then one day, when Yoon Seo gets a university exception letter, so she runs away from there with her brother that day. Ji-suk was very small, so he says, "Thank you to her, that you brought me also with you." Now in the present scene, Yoon Seo thinks, "That was my best decision." Just then, Ji-suk comes running to her and says, "Do whatever you have to do, but do not ignore me like this." So Yoon Seo, getting emotional, tells, "When dad used to beat me, then every time I ran out and asked for help from people, but no one used to help me. Then my dad used to beat me again and take me with him." Hearing this, Ji-suk also gets emotional. So Yoon Seo says, "That time no one helped me. I could understand if you were scared of those people, but they were your friends, so could you not stop them? After all, What difference remained in you and those people? In the next scene, Yoon-seo meets Ju-won and says, I was confused at that time, that is why I was giving you wrong signal, but now I do not want to remain confused. That is why it will be good that now we finish everything right here. So Ju-won says, will you spend tomorrow's day with me? Hearing this, Yoon-seo gets shocked. So Ju-won says, forget all meals, we do fun and last day together and stop everything right here. For which Ju-won says yes. On the other side, we see Ji-won as soon as he finishes meeting, so he was dressed up from above, but he had not worn pants below. Si-won gets very happy finishing work, and as he goes into kitchen, so their dishes were lying washed. So Si-won thinks Ju-won must have washed, but as he comes out, so whole house was lying very clean. Seeing this, he is shocked. But just then, his wife Mi-jin comes there. Seeing her, Si-won remains shocked. So Mi-jin says, after my going home and you have become something too much free. So Si-won says to himself that he hasn't worn pants, that is why he immediately sits down. And right there on the other side, Yoon-seo and Ju-won go to Museum Park, where Yoon-seo says, here you really want to break up having fun? So Ju-won says, shall we break up in cafe? So Yoon-seo does not speak anything. That is why, showing ticket to her, Ju-won says, today we live our full of life. And then these two start taking rides. So Yoon-seo says, we are sitting on these so we are wasting tickets. By the way, Ju-won used to be scared of big ride, but meeting with Yoon-seo, he enjoys that ride. Yoon-seo says, seems you like Ferris wheel. Ju-won says, do you not like all this? So Yoon-seo says, all this is lie. I do not believe on all these. These all things make us fool that how when we will be in some difficulty then a prince will come to save us, but in reality nothing like this happens. So Ju-won listens to her talk carefully, and then both try hairbands but do not take. And then as it is getting evening, so both walk together and were getting very sad and remember their spent moments where they used to be together always and clicked photo. That is why Yoon-seo says in mind, this time we did not click any photo because we do not want to remember breakup memory. Just then, Ju-won sees a small child there who crying was finding her parents. That child was about to fall, but Ju-won takes child and says, I will help you in finding your parents. Then that child calls Ju-won prince, and in a little while, that child's parents come and take her. So Yoon-seo comes there. So Ju-won says to her, that child called me prince. Yoon-seo says, I did not hear anything. So Ju-won says, I know you are capable in doing all this, but when there is any hard time in your life, you need some such person who is with you, and I want to become that person. Okay? Now day has ended. Now we can end everything. Do you really want to leave me? So Yoon-seo says, yes. So both getting sad, start looking at each other. Just then, fireworks starts there and both get very sad after breakup. In the next scene, Bae is giving his presentation. After giving presentation, he asks about next meeting. But Yoon-seo and Ju-won both were lost. That is why both give no answer. But just then, both together start praising Bae. Just then, Yoon-seo gets message from an unknown number. So Yoon-seo thinks, this is typed same like my ex-boyfriend. And just then she sees that Ju-won has 2 mobiles. That is why getting angry, she goes to Ju-won. So Ju-won seeing her hides a mobile. So Yoon-seo says, this is not right. We did break up after a lot of difficulty and now what are you doing? And then she shows Ju-won the message. But Ju-won says, I did not do this message and this phone is going to launch our company. That is why due to privacy, I cannot show you this phone. Hearing this, Yoon-seo getting embarrassed leaves from there. In the next scene, Yoon-seo is packing her luggage to go on business trip. Just then, message comes on that number again that you should move on. Seeing this, Yoon-seo gets shocked and calls that person and says, why are you messaging me? So that person says, since I came to know that you are not that person whom I messaged, so now telling Heart's talk to you is feeling very good. So Yoon-seo says, my breakup happened with my boyfriend right now and due to your messages I made excuse to him and why am I talking to you? Saying this, she keeps the phone. So hearing all this, that person was getting very happy. Next morning, all these are going on business trip in Bae's car. But Bae's full attention is on Lee because she was eating snacks which were falling down also. That is why he puts polythene bag on her clothes. But just then, a truck comes from behind and hits his car, due to which Bae's car has to go for repairing, due to which those 3 get very sad. But just then, Ju-won comes bringing his car there, seeing whom Yoon-seo gets shocked and asks, how you here? So Bae says, I only messaged him if director reaches before us then it does not look good, no? And then Ju-won comes and asks Yoon-seo, are you okay? Come, let's go to hospital for checkup. But Yoon-seo refusing says to take them with him. And then everyone sits in the car where Lee is connecting her Bluetooth to car to play music. But just then, she sees that there Yoon-seo's mobile is already connected. So Lee asks Yoon-seo, did you sit in this car before also? Hearing this, Yoon-seo gets nervous. So to handle situation, Ju-won says, I have a friend, her name is also Yoon-seo. But just then, Yoon-seo gets someone's call from which they come to know that Yoon-seo's mobile only is connected to Ju-won's car. So Yoon-seo says, Director, when you dropped me home that day, then maybe this got connected. And then they all stop at a place to eat snacks, where Lee says, surely something is going on in these two. Bae says, nothing like that, maybe Ju-won wants to show Yoon-seo her place. And then while eating snacks, Lee and Bae start fighting. Lee says, look, because of your car, we had to come with Director, and now you are driving there also. Just then, Yoon-seo quiets them both, and Ju-won also gives them snacks to eat, and calls Yoon-seo honey, hearing which Lee and Bae get shocked. But on their asking, Ju-won says, oh, I ate little honey, you people must have heard wrong. And after eating snack, Lee says to Bae, surely something is going on in between them. Here Ju-won talks to Yoon-seo in alone and says, they did not come to know about our relationship yet, and we have to take care of this thing now. And then Ju-won gives her some medicine and says, you can use this all on your wounds. Yoon-seo says, now do not do anything like this, whether my accident happens or anything happens now, our breakup has happened, so we are strangers. Hearing